Anyway, the guy turned. The bullet hit his artery in his leg, and he bled out. So John moved up to the cabin because he couldn't deal with other people calling him a hero. I don't know. I get it, but I don't. He saved the clerk. He saved the store. It wasn't intentional. He didn't shoot to kill. But people called him a hero. Well, yeah. I mean, to go solitary. Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Nice, Ike. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if that was total solitary confinement almost, because they called him a hero. But okay. Anyway, their night is about to get a whole lot worse. We see the walkers on the bridge, the dead walkers in the car. He just kind of flops over, which is great. And these walkers are just pushing on this car. They push and push and push. They're piling their bodies against the car and falling into the water, of course. I love it. My question is, why are they pushing the car? There's not a gap. Usually if there's something there, they go around or whatever. They don't sit there and push on a car intentionally or anything like that. I don't know why they were doing that, because there was no noise or anything to attract them. So I don't know. We'll talk about that in a bit. John wakes in the night to see them all coming up from the shore. There's just a horde coming in. He shouts for Laura and starts hacking away at them. I love the one dish. They just keep piling on. And they keep piling up and piling out. And I love it that this, when the walkers, they walk across the other bodies, the other walkers. It's just great. It's like they piled up enough, kind of made a bridge for them to cross. It was pretty cool. It allows for other walkers to walk unimpeded along their backs. They become overwhelmed. Laura falls into a ditch, and the dead are reaching for her. And in that moment, all of a sudden, you see John with both pistols up. Bam, 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 bam. It was awesome. It took for him to love somebody to save them, to use his guns again. So bless his heart. He saved her, of course. Laura, of course, thanks him later for saving her life and calls him a hero. Exactly what he didn't want to hear. He doesn't believe he deserves it. John gives her one of his pistols, saying she'll need it to protect herself if she decides to leave. So he tries to keep his distance, but he finally tells her, I didn't want to tell you, but I love you. Oh, it's so cute. He professes his love for her. If you're alive, this whole world feels alive, he says. It's like, and she's like, well, why didn't you want to tell me? And he's like, well, in case you left, and I didn't want to tell you. It was like, oh, that was an moment. It really was. They share a kiss, of course, in a bed together. And this marks the night John is finally able to sleep through the night. And she finally accepted the boots he gave her. And when he wakes up, she's not there. He calls out, Laura, Laura. Checks outside. She accepted the boots and left behind her old sneakers. And on the table where the Scrabble game is are the words, I love you too, I'm sorry. Oh, nothing like a kick in the teeth. I love you, but see ya. Yeah. And we come back to the present. Morgan is sitting there listening. This is the story he's been telling Morgan. He clutches a small tin that carries those Scrabble pieces and reminds him that Lorma/Naomi still loves him. He refuses to let John believe Laura is dead and that Alicia must have been wrong. And I love Morgan, what he says. Let me see here, my notes. Morgan's like, There is no waiting, not in this world. Because John's like, maybe I should have waited. And Morgan's like, and I quote, there is no waiting, not in this world. We're alive. We're a part of the world. Oh, so profound. He's so wonderful. So he refused to let John believe Laura's dead and that Alicia must have been wrong. So they set out with a reignited hope and determination to find her. The end of this episode was really, really good. I liked it because Morgan, he's telling his story there. I don't know. It was a great backstory. Do not get me wrong, but I was a little bored. But I love, John Dory, with an I-E, not a Y, like the fish. You gotta love him. So what is John's alarm clock? Nobody's answered that yet, I see. What did he use for his alarm clock? And I love it. Remember the singing fish on a plaque? That's his alarm clock. Remember those? Those were so popular. I'm typing, guys, so. The singing fish is his alarm clock. I remember when those were so popular. And that played for him to wake up by. I loved it. It was great. That was talk about a flashback. I had an issue with the walkers pushing that car, though, because normally walkers don't do that. Sure, they'll walk off the bridge if there's a gap and fall in the water. There's a lot of parallels to The Walking Dead, of course. We had our water zombies in there, which are water walkers, which were totally awesome. These were pretty cool too. And I love when they fill the ditch up. They keep filling the ditch until they pile up enough the other ones can walk across them. It was great. But I had a problem with them. Why were they pushing the car? Usually they will not do anything like that. They'll be wandering aimlessly, but they won't purposely be pushing a car over. There was no noise or anything to attract them there. So, what was making them do that? I don't know. That was a little strange to me, but that's just me. We're just, I'm just talking away here. At first, Naomi, Laura, God, I wanted to slap her. She was being so mean to him. He was just trying to help her. But then they fell in love. It was so nice. It was a great love story, actually. I don't think they needed to spend that long on the backstory, but okay, they did. It was a good episode. John's character it's phenomenal. It really is. Just gotta love John Dory. So, other than that, I had no issue. I liked the ending. Morgan's like, there is no time, not in this world. So, so good words, and it's Morgan's, and he's like, "Do you really believe that they're dead?" And John looks him dead in the eye, because at first he was like, "Maybe they are, maybe da." And Morgan goes, "Do you really believe that?" And John looks him in the eye and says, "I don't believe that. I do not believe that." So Morgan was satisfied then, but off they go into the sunset. So all in all, a pretty decent episode. There's some action, but it was basically the backstory of John Dory, which is nice to know. Now we know some things and why he does the things he does. The other question was, what does he do on Tuesdays? What does John do every Tuesday? Okay. He goes to the store. You gotta love it. every Tuesday, he needs to go to the store. It's part of his routine. He goes to a store that used to be owned by a guy named Bill. And, but no one came back to it after the roads were shut down. So that's where he goes every Tuesday to get supplies and such, and his movie every week. So that was a cool part. It's just part of his routine. It was kind of nice to see, somewhat normal. Long story. Long story. No, she couldn't do it. But anyway, she had some issues going on. PM me and I'll tell you about it. Okay, so Tuesdays he goes to the store. I love it. It's like, every Friday, you go or take the trash out or whatever the case is. But, and I love the fact that Laura's bag, how she got it. And we see, that she grabs it at the store. So that's where it came from. So anyway, we found out some answers to our questions. And I love the fact that he was a Wild, Wild West performer just for fun for a time, shooting and lassoing. So that was kind of cool. Excuse me. And when he finally was shooting the walkers, he's like, and then he spins them around, and I'm like, woohoo! Pretty good. All in all, yeah, good episode. Michelle, I know you're going to hate me. Yeah, tell you later. Yeah, everything's okay. Everything's okay. But anyway, so I think we found, answers to some of our questions. But the thing with the car, with the walker, still bugs me. Maybe they just didn't think, I don't know, but I did. I was like, why are they pushing on that car purposely? They normally don't do that. It's like the walker tumbling down the stairs in Walking Dead, which was freaking hilarious. They just walk and whatever's there, if it's a ditch or if it's a pond or if it's a cliff, whatever the case is, they just go. They don't purposely, unless there's people inside or something. There was nobody inside the car, or there was no reason why for them to be pushing on that car. Normally, they'd just be shambling about. But it was a nice love story and everything. But will this have anything to do with later on? Will this have anything come back in the later episodes? We'll find out, I guess. So, is there anything you want to know about this episode I haven't covered? It was, like I said, it was a pretty good episode. I was kind of bored. But it was good. It was good. Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, no problem. Anyway, yeah. And so is there anything about this episode anybody wants to know? Let me know. I'll see what I can do. I don't know that note she left him. I love you too. I'm sorry. Oh, God, talk about a stab, though. I mean, yeah, he is. Is that you, Michelle? It's got to be. Has got to be Michelle. Yeah, it was, John Dory's kind of backstory on the guns and of his Laura. Like I said, it was more of a love story than anything. So it was a good episode. Like I said, I was a little bored with it, but again, it answered some questions. It's like, any other show. You have to have some of the backstory to understand. Yeah, she is.